It's going down like this, motherfucker.
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was horn. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bar, back the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog need. Slap Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
Ask you something? I said, can I ask you something? Ain't I'm clean?
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite. For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite. For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society.
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
Your feet. He looked down, seen her feet. The nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway. But I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously.
You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
And with that, I'll come in. That sounds like enough inspiration. I guess I just get just as much inspiration from listening to those groups as I do anything. Greetings on this, I guess it's Monday. Greetings on this Monday afternoon. I feel glorious today. I should brag because I did get up at 7 o'clock and I got in 2 hours and 47 minutes worth of pickleballing. Got my heart up to 211 beats per minute. Never struggling, never tired. Yeah, I could have kept going even. Yeah, I could have even kept going. It's like I burned almost 2,100 calories over 3 miles worth of walking. But exercise minutes, yeah. The exercise minutes the workout was 2 hours and 43 minutes. I got my heart up to 224, 24. So, beautiful day. I mean, it was 60 something when I left this morning. So very beautiful weather. I anticipated more people, maybe because I left roughly around 11-ish, 11:15 maybe. And it was still pretty full, but not full as I had anticipated. But I was glad I got there, got the exercise in. I might go swimming because here it's only 80 degrees. It's only supposed to get about 82 degrees. We got rain last night, and what's so sad about the rain is like it rained pretty much all day, but not heavy. I bet we didn't even get an inch total, but it kind of spit, a little heavier than spit all day. But as we were riding, we just noticed in the ground, like the ground, it's raining outside and the ground's literally not wet at all. I mean, the ground is not wet at all. There's no mud. And I'm saying this was after 4 or 5 hours of the way the rain was coming. It just wasn't very much. And so, kind of starting to see what I saw a couple years ago when we had the drought, where a lot of the leaves just drop because of dryness. And they use leaves, the trees use leaves to store up the food throughout the winter. That's what the leaves are for, to build up all their food. And some of them are at the point where they would rather shut down. It's so dry, they would rather shut down now, stop feeding, and then shut down till next year. Now, it doesn't seem to be able to harm them very much, but it does shorten their normal eating cycle, which again, the summer doesn't end until the 21st of September. Oh, and I got to talk stuff to all you people that got your children in school. Why do you hate your children so much? I don't get making your children go back during the summertime or the kind of still the beginning of the summer. Month into summer, you making your children go back. What's up with y'all that do that? My daughter doesn't go back to school until after, Labor Day. And I think Michigan is the same way. So what is it with y'all? Y'all just rush them little bugs like, hey, y'all got to go to school. We got the rest of this summer to enjoy, but y'all little ass got to go to school. And I see why the parents are so hyped. I guess that's why they so hyped. My children have almost a whole nother month of off. I don't think she doesn't go to school until like the 5th or 6th of September. And still get off. I mean, I be looking when y'all people get off. It's just, we still get out the same time you do. So maybe y'all go to school a few more months. Yeah, she must start school on the 5th of September, I'm guessing. Oh, yeah. Looking good, looking good, looking good. So, I like my children to enjoy the summer. And now, my great nephew, his little butt is in school. He went to all summer school, but he needs to catch up a little bit. So for him, he's been in school. He never stopped. Matter of fact, this is his last week. He didn't go today. He goes Tuesday. The rest of this week, he'll be done Friday. He'll go Tuesday to Friday, and then Friday he'll be done, I think, is how it worked with him. But he needed the extra work. He needed the extra work. He was willing to do it. He likes having a routine. I think we're picking him up in a couple hours because we're going swimming around 5-ish. So, I don't know. It's kind of mild. So, who's messing with me? DT, what is happening? Thank you for joining me. And definitely you got to have
vision.
What's the plan? When they go to school all year long, their breaks are different. They're out the school year for them, so they technically have more breaks than schools than let out. Okay. My daughter has my little brother in a private all year school. My dad has my little brother. Oh, okay. Okay. I see. I just see a lot of people on Facebook getting their children together already. And it seems like it's more down south than out west. And and maybe out west, especially like New Mexico, Arizona, maybe they start them now because it gets so hot. But it seemed like now is the peak of hot. So I don't know. I've just always made fun of that kind of thing. But yeah, up here, now, as I mentioned, my great nephew, he's pretty much, he's just going to get a break he's going to get about a month off because he only had, before he started going back to summer school, It was only a week or two. He didn't have long before he started going back. And year round is what, we have some other countries that go year round. So I guess that's for the beholder. Um, Nicole B, thank you for joining.
Got to have vision.
To come on in, you definitely got to have vision to come on in. Oh, but I hope everybody's enjoying their time, enjoying, what is left of the summertime. All the full moon energies have pretty died out by now, which it was pretty cleansing. It was pretty cleansing, and I hope everybody felt a little something, or released a little something, for your overall just general being. Don't have to really believe anything to kind of follow some of these things that happen around us. You ain't got to believe it. There's energy to tap into, and you tap into it or you don't. That's all. That's what it all is. It's all, and I guess that goes into, I pretty much think that free will is a trick. I don't think free will is really free. I think it's more of a trick. It's more of a trick to make you think that you're making choices. Like when we get into behavior surplus, like even our searches and behavior surplus that we give away. When we get on our phone and we start doing searches, and this is behavior surplus that we're giving away. Now, in our mind, we are freely just searching, but this machine is steadily trying to see what we will buy so it can make money, or it can see like how we look at different things and why we didn't buy. So this is clearly something that we give away, but under the guise of you thinking you have free will, but yet you're working with things that are trying to manipulate you and learn about you, and definitely has collected, harvested information from you. So they don't even have to have a file. It's just a click. It's you. And so that's what what we really give away, and that's where the illusion of free will comes in, because it's like it's free will for me to buy the phone. It's free will for me to look something up. Well, if I buy something that's suggested, it's still I bought it. And I know that's a simplistic way to look at things. It's very simplistic, but yet you can identify with it. And anytime that makes you pause, and there's another side to it too. That's the point. And so in some ways, I mean, and it goes into like most things, real and fake at the same time. Because it makes you feel like you're making the choice. But all along, the choice you make, you've been manipulated to make. I mean, we see this play out so much in our society, especially. So, who came in? Oh, James Lucifer Wooten. Branch, also known as Jim Red Wolf. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. And you definitely have
Got to have vision.
And so I guess the thing to notice is to notice that the manipulation. The manipulation under the guise of, free will. Notice that. But sometimes that gets by people. You think you're making a choice, but you've been being manipulated. And behavior surplus is definitely a way you can easily be manipulated to do choices. I mean, you go buy a car, and all of a sudden you got a million kind of choices coming at you. And not, just the people calling you and following up on some of your interests. But even that is a way of you can be manipulated. Because you can follow so much advertisement and so much research that favors whatever vehicle. And so you're thinking that you're making this choice out of free will, but all along, you could partially be manipulated. And then sometimes, if you just barely got credit, you definitely is just going to accept whatever's put in front of you without any patience whatsoever. So you definitely gave your, but again, if somebody asks you, well, why did you accept this? Well, it was my free will to accept this. And again, if credit has to be, considered in there, you definitely are not under any kind of free will. So, that's all. I mean, just be careful with that. And it's all about discernment as well. I did want to bring you a couple things that, in the Great White North that are going on. There's one, it's not really big. But it is a follow-up of something. Gosh, I should show this pickleball stuff. Oh, here we go. I'll show this first. I'll show this at first. And then it's more local. They show it. So, they really don't want this George Floyd stuff ever to go away. They're still trying to show it. So they're still chipping it away at your ego. Or no. They're chipping away at your psyche. Again, emotionalism. We do have a big election coming up. And who would benefit from, more George Floyd publicity? But here we go. And this is the last of one of the officers that didn't help. He was a park police that didn't help.
George Floyd narrated his own death. Over the course of a restraint that lasted more than 9 long minutes. And the defendant, Officer Tao, stood by and allowed it to happen.
Deuteronomy 16, verse 19. You shall not pervert justice. You shall not show partiality. Blessed are those who hear the word of God and keep it. Also, Scripture tells us that it is not good to go against your conscience. And despite what this court has ruled, I know we cannot hide our thoughts or intent from God, for we must give an account on the day we appear before God. Therefore, I must obey. I hold on to the truth that I did not commit these crimes. My conscience is clear.
After 3 years of reflection, I was hoping for a little more remorse, regret, acknowledgement of some responsibility, and less preaching.
I can't breathe, man. Please.
Call police on another police.
You think that's cool though, bro?
Suffice it to say that I think your culpability is less than Mr. Chauvin, but well above Mr. King and Mr. Lane as an experienced senior officer who was in the best position to save George Floyd. Accordingly, it's my belief that a sentence at the top of the range would be condign punishment.
Whoa, so they threw the book at him.
This is State of Minnesota versus Two Tao. District Court file number is 27 CR 20-12949. Matter is on for sentencing. Counsel, note your appearances beginning with the state.
Good morning, Your Honor. Aaron Eldridge, Assistant Attorney General for the state of Minnesota.
Joshua Larson, Hennepin County Attorney's Office, also for the state.
Good morning, Your Honor. Natalie Pauley, last name spelled P-A-U-L-E, appearing with my client, Mr. Tao.
Morning as well, Your Honor. Robert Pauley, P as in Peter, A-U-L-E, appearing on behalf of Two Tao, who is present with the witness. Good morning.
All right, and for probation.
All right, this is just his overall day in jail. Well, thank you, brother. This was his overall day. Yeah, right here says gets 57 months. Yeah, and so this is one of the
George Floyd
continuations of George Floyd. So it doesn't seem like they ever, they kind of always want to still bring this up. And when will it ever be, enough? And as I said, there's a season coming on where voting and everything is about to come on. This is a, now why is this live? This shouldn't be. And you know, Teo is the number one. Okay, here's a follow-up on the story. Right here, I showed this story the other day, and here's the follow-up. Again, it was a shooting of a 12-year-old by a 14-year-old, and I guess this is what came out, how it was done.
The life of a 12-year-old boy who was shot and killed yesterday in St. Paul. The family saying that Marquis Jones's death was accidental.
St. Paul Mayor Melvin Carter calling the shooting tragic and questioning where the gun came from.
Our Courtney Godfrey was at tonight's vigil, joins us live now from the St. Paul Police Department with the very latest. Courtney?
Well, Amy, the family tonight is saying that the 14-year-old who was arrested in this case is not the one to blame, and they're calling for whomever brought that loaded gun into the home to be held accountable instead.
You can't accuse and charge a child for a mistake. For an accident. This is an accident.
Family of 12-year-old Marquis Jones, who was shot and killed Saturday morning in St. Paul's North End, are now calling for the 14-year-old who was arrested in his death to be released, as they say the teen is not the one to blame.
We're going to stand in solidarity to the end.
I want to look at something that I caught. See if I can find it here. Not that. Right here. Again, you know, most cities, most of the melanated people live on the north side. And again, this is North St. Paul. Now, of the two twin cities, St. Paul is the older part of the city. It's an older city, and you see, like, you can just see if you look here. I mean, this is not a, you know, this is a working class area. I would even say maybe below working class area if you really look at the housing and just the way the trims and, you know, the shrubs and everything, the overgrowth. And you just wonder, you know, what does poverty have to do with this?
Outside the house Sunday are now calling for whomever carelessly left the loaded gun inside the house to come forward and take the fall, saying the kids found it in a bedroom.
The person who should be charged for this is the dog that left that gun in his house, in her house. That's right. That's a child. 14-year-old boy don't know what's going on right now. He's sitting down in the detention center, and they won't even release him to his mama.
According to family, the grandma was a devout Jehovah's Witness and didn't allow guns in the home. She often cared for Jones while his mother was at work.
Just playing with him, just seeing him, it's gonna really hurt. To all of my cousins, all of us, because my grandmother's house was a safe house. And him just not being there no more, it's not gonna feel the same.
The soon-to-be 7th grader now being remembered for his quiet demeanor and artistic passions.
He loved to be outside, he loved to play, he was adventurous. He was growing, he's becoming a young man.
Police said today results of a preliminary investigation show that Marquis Jones took a single bullet to the torso. That 14-year-old who's accused in the killing is still behind bars.
Damn, that is my daughter's age. That is just so cold, so cold. Oh, my man from the SIP, what's the weather like down there, brother? And I know he comes on the late nights sometime, the Chocolate Mountain Show, so I know he definitely has to have.
You got to have vision.
Oh, my brother from down under. Sean, what is happening? And I know brother Sean definitely has.
You got to have vision.
Yeah, this is a chilling story. Yeah. And it sounded like it was an accident. And I told the story the other day, you know, good friend lost her son about 12 years old, playing with guns. It's like, I'll even admit, my son was 16 and he found both my guns, but I had them both locked. It was like nothing, he had empty guns. It's like, you know, he would have had to bring his own magazines, but I had locks on both of them and running through both of them. at that time. This is several years ago. He's making videos and shit, but the guns got locks on them. So he's trying to, keep the lock out the video. But it's just it's natural that children would do this. But you have to, like the people are saying, you have to have some culpability. You have to protect because this is just their nature. And so unless you know the child's nature, then you can't take the risk. And it's so easy just to unload a gun. It's so easy to just unload it. Like, even if you just there, whatever reason you keeping it there. Because the facts was, they was in the house, it was 5 in the morning. So I don't know if the little boys more than likely been playing video games all night. Now, the way it makes me guess is, and this again is just a guess, is, okay, the boys are staying up all night playing video games. Somebody must have came in and left quickly. And then the boys followed in and just looking around, probably found a gun. And the dude the boy found the gun. Again, they don't know, unless you really are trained with guns, at 12, 14 years old, you really aren't really, totally, unless you're not raised like that, you're not, and it's easy to discharge it. Especially if it was revolver, super easy. If it was revolver, easy, even if it's a little 22, easy to shoot. So, sad, very sad. That's right. Do you have to ask? It's hot. Hey, it ain't hot. It's, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, it's 80 degrees. I was playing, again, it didn't hit 70 something till I was leaving. It was like 65 degrees when I got up this morning. I mean, it was like, I just knew a lot, but I knew I got there so early, it wasn't gonna be a whole bunch of people before me, because I got there about 8:20. Because I got up a little earlier than normal. I got up at 7. And so I got up and, went, had my little, now, I got a, what do you call it? Cappuccino machine. And like the cappuccino machine, like to give you a thing, it makes only like, this is where my thumb is. This is the only amount of coffee it fills. It makes this. It takes about 7-8 minutes to make about that much. It's like a really, it's below a small. But when you mix it up with the creamer and have that little thing that with the milk, it actually is pretty delicious. And it don't drink as much coffee. It's cold in New Zealand? Wow, it's cold. Wow. It's cold in New Zealand. It is still pretty nice up here. Again, it's mild in the 80s. My daughter gonna swim. I don't know. I might swim. My great nephew, he's definitely gonna swim. They'll swim. I might go. I'm kind of sore, because I didn't play pickleball on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I usually don't play on the weekends unless someone wants to teach. And if we didn't go swimming, that's what I was gonna do tonight. I was just gonna teach pickleball. My girl wanted to go, and then her aunt wanted to go. So I was gonna call my one friend called Tony up, see if he wanted to slide through and just teach. It was interesting. I played with some women that really weren't as good, and I really we were beating them 5-0. They ended up coming back to beat us, but it was like I played to their level. I kind of like didn't really try to play hard. I felt like, okay, I know the shots I can make and stuff, and I missed some shots, and they made some shots, but it was like I just kind of leveled, and I just didn't keep that killer up against them, because it was like technically both of them are less experienced to say. I really shouldn't be playing with them. And so I played to their level, and they ended up beating us, but it was all right. The game, I got to put the camera up because the game is getting nasty. And I want to say the Jordan 37s, for you guys that want to work out, the Jordan 37s are really great for pickleball. I mean, once you break them in, I'm going to get another pair of Viper next. I think they're flatter. Because again, the Jordan 37s are a basketball shoe, so the platform is a little fatter than the Viper Next. But the next pair I get is going to be another pair of Viper Next, definitely. But I mean, I like that I can go back and forth between both of them, because that's really a great shoe to work out in. And as I said before, with the mesh, it's nothing but a mesh shoe. And I mean, it's very open mesh, and your feet, even under the hottest conditions, your feet stay cool. Now, I saw a dude say he complained about the materials rubbed him. I haven't found that at all. I haven't found that at all. So I wanted to add that. We're in the middle of winter right now. We haven't had a summer because of the so-called natural floods during the summer, but we all know what that means. Wow. 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 Okay. Interesting. Interesting. In my backyard, working on my bicycle, I had to stop because I was sweating like a drug addict trying to go cold turkey. Oh.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Oh, what are we doing, Lorenzo? That's a good one. Oh, it's cold. Okay. Damn, wish we could sweat like that. No summer from December to January. Yeah, it was like last week. It was 90 every day. And I played every day. It was 90 and I played every day. It was like my clothes would be just pouring off me. They'd be so wet. But today, you know, it was cool. I didn't realize, I only thought I got 2 hours of activity. And I looked at it, was like 240 something. I was like, okay. And then if I go swimming, and that's what it's all about. It's just keeping active. Whatever you like to do, keep active in what you like to do. That's my only thing. Make your heart beat, because we know the food that we eat is not that great for us. And that's one of the most intelligent things that you really got to do too, is, you know, eat intelligently. It's like you got to, as sad as it is, you got to knock it all out. You know, you can't just say, well, you just eat, you got to exercise. Well, but see, it's understanding exercise. I mean, because I can get on this mug and get me a couple miles in about, takes me to get a couple miles in 14 minutes, maybe 2 miles in 14 minutes. And that's like running and walking, running and walking, running and walking. And so you can see where, you know, you can elevate your heart. And that's what you want to do. You want to elevate your heart for at least an hour. And so you know, up here in the Great White North, now, Lorenzo, you go out there and bake for a few minutes and you kind of do got to go back in. I can remember when my first, like this time of year, I started having football dreams, because for, you know, my whole life, August, September was getting ready for football. And my body just naturally wants to get in shape. And I started having them dreams like I'm going to practices or I'm about to get into the game and shit. What am I doing? Oh, Siova, thank you for joining me. And I know Siova definitely has to have.
You got to have vision.
Man, Siova, what is the weather like up there in New York? Because we're in the middle of a mile, but I'll say this, and they didn't, let me see, I don't think there was an air quality alert, but it is just as cloudy. Again, I live on the hills, in the hills. And so there's a valley that I have to go down to go to the reservation, to go to Prior Lake. Actually, to go down there to Shakopee is technically where I'm at. But it was cloudy. Let me see what they say about the air quality. So it says moderate, but to me, it had a smell like burn today. Like, now, I didn't taste it plain, but going home, I was tasting like something. Because I was, you know, it was just like, I'm going home and it's 74 degrees. I'm not having my air condition on. You know, like last week, I had my air condition blowing full. But when 74 degrees, you know, I got all the windows down of the big sedan, and I'm just got the music, you know, making me go deaf, but I love it. So they say the air quality is minimum here. I thought, I mean, it's cloudy. There's no doubt that it's cloudy up here. But it seems like that smoke haze, and again, I got more of a whiff of it as I went back, because I live east. And actually, you know, I would really technically seem like kind of going away from where they say the smoke is coming from. Because the smoke is coming from, because it's weird here, to go north, you have to go west and then you go north. I know that sounds kind of weird, But that's the way, for us to go straight north, because I think I live about 8 hours from Calgary, I think. I think if I ever wanted to go to Calgary, I think that's the closest big city up there. But Canada proper is only about, I think I only live 3.5 hours from Canada proper. And this spot's up here where, you don't have to have your passport checked. But if you get caught over there, they arrest your ass. You get caught over there because if you don't come back that same way, and you don't have your passport, they can't arrest you. And that's like, I know Brother Nick Taylor, I know he knows how easy when you live in the Detroit area, how you would used to constantly go back and forth to Canada, like with very little consideration, go to the bridge or go under the tunnel. And it's just kind of mind blowing something, because some people worked in Canada, some people worked in America, or you just did something over there. I mean, I think they had the casinos at first in Canada, over in Windsor. Yeah, in Windsor, because Windsor and Detroit are like right across the bridge from Lake Detroit from each other. So, it's 96 degrees with a heat index of 113. That gets a crappy damn. Yeah, inside communicating and watching right now. The technician, stay your ass in New York. You don't want to deal with this kind of heat. Wow. Oh, it's much better. Okay, it's much better after the heat wave. Okay. Going to Cali next week to enjoy the 100-degree weather next week. Bad. Congratulations. Have fun. Get you some fly gear. My girl always wants to go somewhere, and I'm just like, because I said before, our reunion was yesterday, and a lot of people didn't go. And, I had planned on like staying Friday, Saturday in Chicago and then heading over to Michigan from there. But it's just, I got so much going on. It's just hard to take that trip. Even though after I get divorced, I don't think we're going to take off right away. I think we're going to, because we're trying to make a couple moves. So we're trying to get these moves. So it takes a lot of planning and stuff. 104 to 102. Yeah, and up here, I mean, as I mentioned and told before, we have so much water up here. It's water everywhere. I mean, I live about, if I walked, it would take me probably 15 minutes. But if I drive, it only take me to go to a little lake. I guess a little lake. It's a little lake. Yeah, a little lake. It's a little lake not too far from me. And it's not too little. It takes me about not quite 2 miles around it. But it's that close. And like, looking at houses and shit. And it's easy to get a house. I looked at a house last week that I kind of liked it. It was need a little upgrade, but it was on a sweet pond. And it set on a nice little corner lot. On a cul-de-sac, and they had a little pond. But I've had houses before where, you had the ponds in the back. My brother-in-law, where we going swimming, like, he has about 1.5 acres in an area where it ain't too many lots like his. But across the street, the neighbors hardly have any backyard because there's a pond. It's actually a pond. Big ass trees, but it's a pond in their backyard, so they don't have as much backyard, but they live directly across the street. And one thing I miss about having, living on a pond or a little lake is you hear the nightlife. I mean, the pimpiest things to be around a little lake or a pond is in bullfrogs, because the bullfrog just call out where he at, and the females come to him. He just be like, blah. And the females be like, oh, they cry, they come to him. That's the bullfrog is the pimpiest of the amphibians. He just like, blah, here I am. And, they chirp back, and he's like, hey, bullfrog don't play. He's the pimp of the amphibians. Oh, where is this at? It's not here. Changes. Oh, he's talking about this again. This is right now. See if this is live.
Ernie gauging.
This is the aftermath of George Floyd. This is the aftermath. I think he's going
of operations that continue to go on. That has been sort of weaved into a lot of the processes that we have. But this is something that's continuously evolving. We will be doing everything possible to continue to address the problems that we see with crime and violence, but also at the same time, we'll be doing everything possible not just to go through a list of reforms that the state gives us or a list of reforms that the Fed give us. Our measure of success will not be some statistic that we have officially. Our measure of success will be people in this city will feel safer, and people in this city, more people in this city will say that they have trust in the MPD, that they've had more positive interactions with cops in this city, and that they believe our police officers, they know our police officers have their backs. That's the real measure of success.
All right. Now remember, they're breaking up the police department in two separate levels. A civilian level, basically, behind when they have a mental kind of situation. They're supposed to have a type of department because, again, the feds are going to be on their back for the next 13 years. That's what it's about average for them to get out of Fed control. I think New Orleans is about to get out of theirs. We're one of 13, I think it was actually 13 cities that's under Fed control. And I've said many times in the 90s, these people, and I didn't live here, but like 94, 95, but these people were out of control far as the way they harass brothers and sisters here. And it's just not victimhood. If you look up their gang units was unleashed for about 10 years. And on the melanated people that lived on the north side and the south side, I mean, they just let them just collect millions of dollars in forfeitures. It didn't matter if they got a conviction or not. If they broke into a house, they was keeping all the shit. I brought up the singer L from Next. Some kind of snitch informant found out he wasn't fucking with banks and he had a bunch of shows and had some money in his house. So this gang unit broke in his house and took his cash and never gave it back. He said he had about 30 grand. And they never gave it back to him. And he never got convicted of selling drugs or nothing. But this is the way they were shaking down. And so the George Floyd thing was just, and I've said, we're in a test area up here too. For some reason, they are testing. I don't even know how to describe it. I think it would almost be like we almost get into Groundhog Day practice, I guess, in a way, because we had all the practices before Floyd, and actually you can go the year before in 19 and see where they do the same thing to Floyd, but don't kill him. So it's almost like a replay and a replay. It's like they didn't kill him the first time. A bunch of people arrested him and he kept going, "Oh, my mama, man." That's what he said the first time they multiple people arrested. He said, "Oh, my mama, man." And then the fact that him and Chauvin worked in the same club. Chauvin worked outside, checking people come in. Floyd worked inside. What's the odds when the same people paying you? That you never see a cat, that you work in shifts he worked. So, the whole story just is real and fake at the same time. But these people, and what I'm seeing though now, is the suburbs are kind of following what the cities are doing. Again, St. Paul is not under federal control, but it wouldn't surprise me if they do become under federal control because they are very close to what was going on here too. So, Empress, Goddess, thank you for joining. And I know you got to have
vision.
Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Now I got a little longer. I can chop it up a little longer. I just wanted to come on and pass some good vibrations, feeling them good vibrations and passing along and positive and just a perspective of things. That's all. So I guess you know, I don't know if I don't know what people listen for, what they expect of what is the best part of a rap. You dig? It's like, well, what is the best part? I want to hear him for a certain part, and I don't know of how the timing is for that. You know, I listen to most people just listen to the information they put out, and you know, I can discern it from there. So I don't know how people do it. And I listen to a little bit of everybody. You know, I'm fans of everybody. I really am. I'd rather listen to my YouTube people than watch TV. Against unless it's games, I don't really watch TV. I mean, occasional movie here and there, but I'm the worst TV movie watcher in the world. I just don't care. Like, it's very few series I care about. I just don't really care. Like, we were starting to watch John Wick 1 last night, you know, but I knew I had to get up early, but it was just like, okay, Superman with a gun. I was just dropping in about the energy with my neighbor. You just chopping up with, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, what we just went through was, like, I still have stones out there that I'm just leaving, and I put all my stones was out there. Matter of fact, I just brought, like, this basket that I had out there, and charging these up. And I was working with all these, and, you know, I have a potite. You know, this is Motivite, big chunk of Motivite. Might be, do I have a flashlight in here? No, just my phone, maybe. Pneumite. This is serpentine, you know. When I give you the omen consciousness, that's serpentine. This is quartz, the virgin quartz. I keep a virgin quartz. I got a couple quartz virgins, steel ones too. And this is one of my garnets. And these are Herkimer diamonds, which are diamonds. But these are out of New York. These come up out of New York. New York cats know about these. And they're diamonds. They facet. That's what the difference between a diamond. And so, super intense meditation session. You know, opening up what's there for me, and navigating. You know, what's there for me. And, you know, expanding your mind to possibilities and accepting energies that's meant for you, and creating an environment where you can, you know, accept the energies. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for the kind words, though. Yeah, and I got a bunch of crystals. Citrine is a great prosperity crystal. I put this near my door so everybody that walks through it gets touched with some. And then this is like basically my personal peace. These don't really like the daytime, so keep them out the sun because it'll bleach them out. But it's prosperity crystal. It's a crystal that is it's a light Joker energy. Like this crystal, when I would keep the two crystals near each other, I had a picture like this at my apartment, and these crystals just thought it was funny as hell to knock this down. I mean, they would just knock it down, and I know that may for some of you, but this is the kind of energy they like do it. And they would just sit there, so I knew I had to separate them in the room, separate them from rooms to keep them away from each other, because together the crystals would, I mean, they would literally knock this down. It just, but other than that, this kind of energy is really, really good to have around. It's really good energy to have around. In the daytime, again, meditating in the daytime is a lot different because more people, again, you got people sleep at night. The realms seem to be more occupied. The daytime, not quite so. Not quite so. Diamond's our girl's best friend. We should get together and do a stream, big brother. Okay, yeah. Just hit me at let me see. I'll put it up here. Seem to be more occupied. Pretty easy to get in touch with. Where am I at? Okay. There I go. Some kind of way I can use this Streamlabs to bring people in. I had to figure it out. But as you can get in touch with me, I'm always free to talk to rap to anybody. Anybody. Because it's minds that want to bounce off other minds. I've never had a problem with that. And that's kind of how all this was really getting going, was back in, rapping with Sly and stuff, and Darkman X back in, what was it, December of 17. And, doing the talk show with Benita Alcett and Pomatic out of Chicago, doing talk show with them every weekend. I mean, that really, really helped putting all this together. And to come from there to now is, yeah. Oh, and Macbone wanted to get a group of people together to really try to really break down how to use, what to use, and when, that kind of thing. Because it's like whatever magic that one is exposed to the most, or what I even say practice. I mean, there's ways to add to all that. There's ways to always get better. So that's my thing is have your mind open to whatever you practice. Have your mind open up to get stronger and stronger whatever you practice. And I can go for whatever, that I can go for whatever, and I can turn into whatever also. I mean, remember on The Magicians, remember Julia. Julia got turned down because they saw that Julia couldn't handle, all the power. They didn't think she was ready. Julia had a touch of the magic, and she went to the point where she would accept anything. And not knowing that, she got turned inside out by a god. Because again, she opened herself up to any type of magic. And that's a pretty strong message. If you think about what it's trying to tell you, is don't be so thirsty to jump into something that you really don't totally know you're jumping into. And even worse is, and this goes to the basics of it, is if you've had what you think is some success, again, and I guess it would say, like, even if, like, say, if you took some negative, even if you had a success in a little of the negative, do you still even know about what little success and what's the next step in that? And because there's really, there's wicked. Good and bad is kind of the same thing, but there's wicked. There's definitely wicked. But it's again, knowing what your strength is, and you have to speak out of protecting yourself as well. And that's what that story is all about, is understanding that you can't just be open to anything. It's like, it's like somebody brings a thing of drugs and you just want it all. Doesn't work like that. Oh, words are spells. Absolutely. Okay. I'll check it out. Thank you. I'll check it out. Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, that's the problem, with English and being spiritually holding us back because of words and expressions. That's why that's why the breathing techniques and everything is trying to get you out of different words and expressions and spells. It wants you to not think in thoughts. It wants you to, really try to get into the rhythm of the breath and of the experience that comes with the breath, without any of these type of, because your thoughts and the fractals that come to you are not, they don't come to you in English or your English understanding. They come to you in so many different other ways. I mean, some things come so clear, but your English understanding, it's beyond sometimes. But yet there's something inside of you innate that understands it as it comes, you know? So that's a way to break out of, you know, that's why, you know, the brothers was, some brothers I talked about, I think Brother Rich had a guy on, and it's right. It's like, if you do any kind of spelling, use other languages. I mean, a book like this, you know, it's other languages in here. You know, there's other languages in here you could write your spells in. So you don't have to use English, and you don't really have to use Latin. You know, I have, this book on Mayan hieroglyphs. And you literally, this is easy. These are easy to write up. I got whole notebooks just full of this. You know, where I would just call it, because the date has some kind of symbol. Like there's 20 symbols for the dates. And so this is a whole language. You know, and remember, they tried to tell you Christopher Columbus and there was no culture when they came here and nobody owned any land. Well, that's not all true. So seems like Cleveland, the only place where abroad took this past weekend. Where are your thoughts on the thriller in the peninsula in Alabama? Over here because she knows that we're in the same thing. Okay, Doaz, yes, I love her. And she has an open mind to a lot of folks, you know, and that's okay. She's always welcome for sure. But thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Cleveland was, and you know, they hit me with the age restriction on that video. I'm like, age restriction? There's a thing on it that you put that it's not for people for 18 or under. But it was like he ate one and then he hit dude, and dude was like totally out of it. Dude was totally like off balance. He like pow. He like whoop whoop. Right hook. Boom on the buzzer. Oh my goodness. There's a brother that I look up on here. And he puts some articles out that I don't think people realize has happened in the history of us. And I'm only give the deacons of defense, I'm only going to use them that happened more than people realized. Like even in some of the Reconstruction times, until the military really kind of end up helping them, because, you know, the KKK people would be also the state militia or the state troops. I'm old man. So, but in other times, I mean, we would overwhelm them with numbers and, like, you know, make the peace, resume the peace. You know, we didn't take L's like they always said down south. Man, then there were times where we became, you know, outgunned. Like one thing, the HBO show on the Tulsa riot is the brothers and sisters had all the guns, you know, pistols and stuff and shotguns. And then the Europeans coming from the other side had, you know, long guns. And that seemed to turn the tide. Because again, you have to get a little closer, but again, it's marksmanship and all that as well. It's much more to that story, but simplistically, you know. So it's good and bad, because again, that can go both ways. And the way, you know, they like to give a message is they want to be like 200, you know, on a brother. Like my son just had a scrape with, you know, some Mexicans. He was outnumbered with Mexicans or Hispanics, whatever you want to call it. I don't mean any disrespect. And they, you know, and that's what I told him when it was like, when you go to this, don't you see if you have numbers or if you don't have numbers? You know, don't you look at the room and say who might have guns and who might not have guns if they just letting everybody walk up in there and they ain't checking nobody? And it's lightly, it's the pool hall and shit too. But it's you know, looking at your possibilities. And it's great. It's great. I like the brother that jumped in the water to go ahead join it. Go join it. It seemed like brothers backing brothers wasn't seemed like saving the virtue of a sister. It was like brothers backing brothers. So I like the people that I like the memes where they did the the rings where they can have people come into, they can do the fire rings and people can come into this reality, and they had the people coming from the reality running in on them. That was kind of cool. That was a real cool meme. They had the brothers coming in on them fire rings, where the one girl could make the reality. She was bringing brothers in left and right. So that's positive. That's not negative. That's positive. We need more of that, to show that we're more together than we are apart, because all this gun violence just tries to show that it's us shooting at each other. And so never coming together, and it's not that Europeans are the enemy, it's definitely not that, but it's just different people have different understandings of this civilization and this reality. And there are people that try to abuse. Now, I don't know if it's having a certain attitude about it, or feeling that things should go a certain way. I just think people are assholes generally, and been let too long to be assholes, and then they start getting checked, and they want to turn violent after they get checked. So I don't know. And then I guess they wasn't ready to catch the fade. Numerology, yeah. I mean, Zach is the best in that, and the best in numerology, and I don't even know, like, I don't even see any of Zach's stuff. Did they change his stuff? I don't even have Zach's stuff. Yeah, they use that. Of course, they use numerology. But Zach and Zach's group of people are really the best at that. I mean, he lives and breathes that stuff, and that's. I mean, you got to give. He's like I'll say this about Zach. I went from where Zach had to look everything up, how the comparisons. Zach has all them comparisons remembered and memorized. So he sees them and snaps them off. So Zach is the best at that kind of thing. Again, the matches is, the divination part. If you want to look at how the divination can go about numerology, that's the cool thing about what Derek set up. If you want to see, like, even like dating someone, you can put their name in there and you can just see all the matches that come in here, and you can just see if there's anything that might turn you off. That's the cool thing about the numerology thing. The gender whatever, I can't think of what it's called, but yeah, we get into that. Amboys Connor, welcome. And thank you for coming in.
Got to have vision.
The ass whooping was caused because their entitlement. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's really it. I don't know. Some people just be assholes. Now, if you call, asshole entitlement, that could be, some people are assholes though. And I think they got their ass whooped for being assholes, because sometimes assholes don't get checked. Oh yeah, I got, I'm lazy about the cards. I got, like, this is my Mayan cards. And the two books to go with both these cards. These are deep books. These three are a deep collection. They really are. I mean, this is such good writing. I got it upside down. I mean, this is such good stuff that goes with these cards. But just the pure like mimicking, or no, excuse me, pure understanding of the tarot and its addition to that other book, this book kicks ass too. This guy kicks ass. I mean, this dude shows spreads. Like, these spreads are outstanding. Yeah, this kind of stuff. Yeah. And this generates energy. So, but, it's not just only that. I follow the Mayan calendar, So I have the Toltec cards that follow the Mayan dates. And the Mayan cards, and both these have, you know, the same fractals as you see on the box. These are the Mayan fractals. And these are really cool is the crystal cards. The crystal cards are for the people that don't, you know, have physically had the crystals. And these are pretty cool. I used to give, you know, I used to do, give this out every now and then. I would give out a reading with the crystal card. So yeah, I read them for myself too. Sometimes people ask me to do readings for them, but it's just friends. So no, it's because they were told to move the boats because a riverboat was coming through. Security guard was telling them to move it, but they refused and jumped on him. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. No, I saw that. I did see that. Oh, El Dragon Amaru Khan, thank you for joining. And I know you definitely have.
You got to have vision.
No, I know that they had jumped on the dudes, but I think they was just assholes. They was assholes that thought they could overpower the security guard. Probably had some drinking, come in with it. So they got their ass whooped, and it's a victory. I guess you could look at it as a victory of people finally coming together for each other against the man. You know, against the man. So I guess that's kind of the positive about it, because usually they don't like advertising that stuff either. But the memes was really cool, where, you know, the superhero could bring out more brothers, and that's the idea. If we, as you know, like Malcolm says, you know, how does Malcolm put it?
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves,
Unite together among like-minded people. That's what survival. And it's interesting, you know, having children. And for those of you that have children, you can relate to so much to this after going through COVID. And I talked about this the other night, but it's just it's like we as parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, whatever, we look at, well, really, we just want our children to grow up the same kind of way we did in some ways. We don't really want things to change so much that our children don't grow up like we kind of did. And that's reality. Seeing the COVID and all that, that's reality. Because COVID was seeing the opposite of where everybody was being regimented. And we're like, hey, we don't want our children so regimented. Separated, isolated. And so it's great to see a positive gain of force, because that's the last thing in the world that the system wants. Is that, I mean, really, like if melanated neighborhoods really could get it together and run their own without outside interference, that is very positive. I mean, really, anyone can get some land and start a township. And in that township, you would have to have some type of control. And most of us as an adults could take on that kind of responsibility. Given that, again, we need enough resources, land, whatever, you know, everybody's vision that bought this land would be. Got to have vision. And that's kind of how you control where you live and the resources where you live. And the real type of power that can be had controlling a rural area. Which a lot of people don't understand. That's like Nick points that out. Brother Nick points that out all the time, what it's like You know, like I'm not trying to bust his stuff, but like he said, if he's got the big generator, that's saying a lot. I know these people that know, the zombies come, they drop back here. And everybody doesn't have that. The zombies come. I love that Nick shows that, him and a bunch of dudes and his people. And that's the thing, is you get your people. See, that's what people don't understand, is they want to make it think it's Europeans and the melanated people, but it's really not. It's like people against unlike. It's like people who against several systems. Against several systems is the best way to put it. And the like-minded people have to find each other and work together. And there's so many different ways that people can work together. And so it was positive. Yeah, I saw, but it could be real and fake at the same time. They could have been sent there as plants to put a disturbance. I mean, because they were the way it looked, they were very obnoxious. And everyone knows that the route that the paddle boat was coming through. So were they plants to get a reaction out of people? Because if you look at things real and fake at the same time, that could very well, they could be plants to see how people would react. So, I don't know. Oh yeah, the land is everything. After they were drinking, after they jumped him, they tried to go back to the boat like it was nothing. Boy, they was all wrong. Yeah, I saw that. I watched it. The consciousness and the unconsciousness. Yeah. And again, the earth has so many natural power, energy generating kind of things, that come through in ley lines and fractal lines that are in the ground, and just patterns of energy that are out there. I take my pendulum, because I mess with pendulums too. And again, a pendulum is great for finding the most spiritually built corner area in your house, because everyone has it. Almost all land sits on something positive. So you just have to find it. Sometimes it's outside, but if you really can find where the energy builds in a house, in a room, I mean, that's not hard to find. And so you have natural built amplifiers, if you can dig. You have natural born amplifiers around you. And so, a lot of times when we need to ground and just put our feet in the earth, it's good that when you're able to do that, that you sit on one of those amplifiers, because it just kind of charges you. And it's like, it's a constant energy place and most people where it's at. Like even when I lived in an apartment, I found where the free energy was. And actually that would be the spot where I would sun gaze. When it came up, I sun gaze when it would go down. I would hit that energy spots. And I hit that energy spots when I used to, some years we have Jupiter like for months, and the communication with that and the kind of, that was heavy. That was heavy. It was complete like communication with another source. It was like another source, just like boom, hey baby, it just and so it's everywhere. So if I could find it on some land, I just I rented an apartment, but I had access to the land, and I found out where the energy was, and so I was able to amplify what I did. And now like we have such a clear path to like living on this. I live on a hill, and we just have such a clear path. Our east, the way the moon comes through on the east is just so beautiful. So it's just the way to receive the energy is so great. This Lakota land, these are Lakota lands up here. Dakota, this is Dakota County, but these are the Lakota lands. I call it the Big Eagle Hour because Big Eagle, actually, the land he owned wasn't far. And the lake that's nearest me is where they worshiped, for a better word. This is where, and it's a lot of energy over there. I walk over around there with my pendulum, and my pendulum just goes crazy. And so, I walk my pendulum, and the pendulum goes crazy.
we're star seeds, earth angels, light workers. Devontae one, I didn't really actually know drinking a lot of water, how good it is for the body. Oh, okay. Devontae one, you joined me before? Thank you for coming. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Got to have vision.
I'll tell you about, like, even playing pickleball, one thing that I've learned is you have to eat pretty solid. Like, if you're going to play 2 hours plus and don't want to feel your energy go down, just drinking water ain't enough. Jim Red Wolf is, you know, and go to his channel for nutrition and stuff. He's on point of all that. And he suggested is like, you just can't drink water because water's not going to give you everything. So I got, wasn't Propel, what do we call this? But it was like, it has a lot of electrolytes. It has the dang no sugar stuff, which gives that stevia stuff in it. And again, with the studies, you got to have pounds of that kind of stuff to really hurt you. But still, it's just something that's not good for you. But as giving me some things that the water's not going to give me, I started taking one of those. Because eating fruit and stuff is not going to give it to you like they can give it to you in the liquids. So it's kind of a give and take. So keep that in mind too. And I've been feeling a little stronger, you know. So as you work out, whatever you may do. I just love pickleball. And I love swimming. And like, what I really like about these watches is you can put the pickleball on the watches and you can put swimming. And, you know, I'll get a bunch of swimming. And even though, you know, I'll go back to back, I still get, you know, another workout in. And it takes inflammation out too. Because I played, like I mentioned, I didn't play since the last time I played hard was Thursday. And I didn't play Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. But them 3 days ain't going to make me out of shape. I move good. And so, and made a ton of friends that, you know, third year of seeing the people. And I think, you know, they're all joyful to play with me. And, you know, my attitude is cool with people. And it's out there, it's definitely Honey Land because, you know, where I play pickleball is on the reservation. And let me say about the reservation up here, Mystic Lake. Look, this place is never empty. They have a big casino hotel, then they have a small casino. And they made them stop smoking, which, that small casino was the worst. They just that was why I'm not really a machine gambler. I like shooting craps. So I'm not a big machine gambler, but they be having shit out there. Thinking we're going to a concert. I think we're going to go see Dave Chappelle. Is it Mystic? I don't think it's there, somewhere else. But we go out there, but it's always packed. Like I get there every day between 8 and 9, and it is, I mean, literally packed out there. Like there's like I've never been out there where there's not thousands of cars. Again, it's like they have an ice rink out there. They have this huge daycare. So if you want to gamble, and I mean, literally, you can go gamble, and they will watch your children while you go gamble. And it's very safe. It's very, very safe. You got a thing. Your child has a thing. You know, they put a collar around the child, and you got the light thing, the lightsaber for the child. So if the child gets away with the collar on there, your lightsaber can find him. But no, they have that. They have that out there too. And people give parties and stuff. They play pickleball out there. Vanita. Yeah, no joke, smoking area inside the casino. Oh, bingo was terrible too. Benita, what's happening? Now, like,
got to have vision.
I know Vanita has vision. Like Mystic, like to go into where they had the concerts at, you had to walk by bingo. And bingo was the last place in there you could still smoke. But the little casino, that little six, was like that place. When it opened, they could smoke, but they just stopped making them smoke in there. But it was like the only place left was they still let them smoke in bingo. Oh man, you had to walk, and even though it was enclosed and you walked in, you had to walk by there. Like, yeah, no thank you for bingo where all the smokers are. And I'm pretty sure, I'm affected by secondhand smoke because both my parents smoked when I was a little boy and they smoked in the car. My father, he smoked them little nasty Moore cigarettes. I'm right in the car. So I'm sure that affected me as I got older. I never smoked cigarettes. So I don't know. Yes, but it's definitely rough. But it's amazing how it's always cars there. Always. And they have food giveaways. The weekends, they have their farmers market. And I'm pretty sure they get a lot of the Hmong's food. I'm pretty sure, because they gave a lot of Hmong land and let them grow, and that's it's not bad. That's kind of how it works. You got to have some kind of help and setup. That goes into what Martin Luther King says. Not only that, they can help you get resources. And if you have an individual thing you want to process, there's ways of doing it. And then there's ways they can stop people from doing it too. So, but for the most people can do what they try to do and have somewhat of success. I've never been a computer gambler where you just sit there and feed dollars in it. There's no feeling, no anything. You're going against heavily bad odds. To me, the only real feeling games left is roulette and craps. And craps, there's so many variations of how to play craps. Do you throw the craps over the hump? Do you throw the craps against the backboard? Against the back, you got to bank them and stuff. In Michigan, God, what do you call it? We would throw, and there's a stick 'em. That's what stick 'em means. I don't know if you remember the Fat Boys used to go stick 'em, but what sticking 'em means is during the crab game, if it's my crab game, I'm rolling the dice and I'm throwing them to you, and you can't do nothing but catch them and throw them. That's how in Michigan we had big crab games. It was always whose house it was or whose dice game it was. He would stick them to people, and you literally just had to catch them and throw them. So there was really no open hand play. It wasn't like you was trying to bank or hit off a little platform, because that's how you had to, the dice had to go up in the air and fall, or you had to throw the dice hard enough to bank them. But that's how we used to do. We used to stick them. That's what stick them means. Stick them to somebody and they can't do nothing. But if they do anything but throw it, they lose the money. They got to catch them. You can't shake them. You just got to get them and throw them. But it's still people that could cheat doing that. Still people could catch them like that and still set the dice. People that were that good. I was watching a thing. I was trying to find it. Matter of fact, no, I showed it the other night. I showed it where those people pawned that $50,000 ring, and how people get so excited by money and the idea of a big sale, and you don't pay attention. I guess there was a story. How my girl was telling me about a story. So how did it go? Okay, so she was behind a dude at Target. The dude wanted $2,000 worth of Target cards, gift cards. So he counts the $2,000 out to the dude. The dude starts making the gift cards. He makes all the gift cards, gives the cards to the guy. The guy says, well, let me count the money. The guy counts the money. He gives it back to the guy. The guy's like, hey, there ain't $2,000. They're only $300. Kind of does a bullshit argument. Says, never mind, forget it. Just give me your refund. I don't want them anymore. Gets his couple $100 he gave him, but the dude was able to get away with all the loaded gift cards. And so it's all kind of people that try to scam. That's why I would never want to work a register. With my dyslexia, there's no way I could pay enough attention. I tried it a few times in the past, but I wasn't good at it. Marks V Production, MVP Studios, greetings. And you definitely have to have.
Got to have vision.
I think I need a little pep. Yes, I need a little pep. Let me see. I need a little pep.
Lean and buck, lean, buck, lean.
What is that? What? I'm feeling a little better all of a sudden. What was that?
Lean and buck, lean, buck, lean, buck.
What is it? What do you want me to do? I'm trying to follow this dance. What is it?
Lean and buck, lean, buck.
All right, I feel rejuvenated. I don't think we're going swimming for about another half hour. Welcome. Where's my man? I think this is Ancestor Productions. Let me get his stuff in here.
Like I said, you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
I think he says it best. And check out Ancestral Productions online. Yes. How long have I been going? Because I don't want to do it too long today. Because I've got everything done, no. So I got a few more minutes. I think the only thing is wrong. My neck's a little stiff. I might have to go back to the chiropractor. I went last week, but my neck woke up a little stiff. But that's it. I feel good. Had a good day of working out. Hope everybody did. Mac. Okay. Men are chosen king, supremely victorious. Pronounce Mac. Okay. Mac. I'm sorry. And you're right. It's like my man says, what does he say? I walk with a toxic glow. I walk around with a toxic glow. That's it. Walk with a toxic glow. Walk where people can feel that energy. It's like, I know sometimes I walk in places and people feel me before they see me, they feel me. And like, at this age, my energy should feel like something. You dig? Should feel like something. Water promotes healing. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it takes all this inflammation out. Definitely. I can tell the difference, like if I don't swim compared to I swim, even if I just put my legs and my back in it. I just float most of the time. I get like a little swimming in to get my heart back up, and then I just float most of the time. And like what I found is one of the best workouts is just hold 2 basketballs, just to hold them. It really works because I like having, because pickleball, even though I wear my sleeves, this is all tender. It's like it ain't hurt, but it's tender because I use them. And the sleeves have healed this. I mean, really, the sleeves have healed this. And, but it's like this motion with the basketball. Usually I get the old fashioned, old man little raft, the raft with the little pillow, and I just soak and just have my arms out. But I found out with the basketballs, that was kind of a nice little workout. Holding the basketballs under my arms was really a nice little workout. I was kind of surprised. So, and we're going, my girl's working another 20 minutes and then we're going to probably hit the road. And my daughter is with me. I don't know if we're picking up my son. I know we're picking up my great nephew too. I mean, it's such mild outside. We left the rides outside. We never do. It was too hot last week. I don't leave my ride outside. Sometimes leave your ride, open to the sun can affect your tires too. Sun can rot your tires. So, that's why, you don't necessarily put the tire restorers on there just to make your tires black. You keep them on there to restore them, especially if you have to park your car outside in the sun. Constantly spray that stuff on them. Gives your tires a little long life. Because the sun just baking your tires, you're sitting there. Even if you go to work and your car is outside, your tires is getting baked. So put some kind of restorers on them, painting them. That's what we called it. So I feel your energy through the screen. It's positive, laid back. Yeah, I'm pretty much like this. Like I am. I go at it with my sons because they my sons. Like my youngest son and I go at it. I'd be like, nigga, why don't you have it like this, that, this, that, this, that? And he like, well, cuz you said it was this, that, and this, that, that. I mean, our personalities are so alike that it's like arguing with myself. Because he tries to use my logic and my way of debating against me when we talking. So it's kind of funny when we go at it. So, but it's just, that's what we do is we go at it. So I'm not sure if we seeing him tonight or not, but maybe. Drinking water takes inflammation out too. And I drink water again. This is 7, 8 years old. Wow. Yeah, this is about 8 years old. I got these in 14, I think. And this is all I drink out of, like water. I take one of these with me when I play pickleball. And I got 2 big pieces of sugarite. Now, I'll tell you, I said this the other night, with these 2 pieces of sugarite, I put them out in the moon. I poured some stuff in here the other day, and I was trying to show y'all last week, and I was looking at us like, hell no. I'm like, man, this sugarite got rid of that stuff. Whatever was in this glass, I don't know if it was the sugarite smashing it, but it was like undrinkable when I looked in there. And I showed you, I was like, whatever that shit is up. So when I charge these suckers up in the sun, they charged up. So I drank, the first thing you should do in the morning is drink, because most men and women pee. You get up and pee. And you've been laying for a number of hours, you should get between 6 and 8 hours if you can. No less than 6. And that's why, I just do my show now, the Chocolate Mountain Show, on Saturday nights going into Sunday morning, because that's the only night I really can stay up. I like getting up, and it's going to change because, again, the pickleball's outdoor season. We only got about another month or 2. So, and I don't know how hard. I think I'm going to get my knee done. I'm going to get my knee scoped this winter. So, go through rehab, strengthen my knee, and then, start the weightlifting and play a little bit indoor, but I might hoop too. So we'll see. We'll see, just to try. I see I can fall down and not get hurt. Because my son, I went to guard him and we bumped, and I just, but I wasn't hurt. I wasn't hurt. Like when I fell, I was playing pickleball and fell into the fence. Didn't get hurt. So now I see that I can bounce again, because you got to bounce like Tigger, Winnie the Pooh. You to fall, you got to still be able to bounce. You want to be young enough to still bounce. And so that's what I've been able to do. Been young enough to, and it's like everybody, I don't know, certain people just have where they're into just one or a couple things. And I try to be into a bunch of different things. I'm a sneakerhead, big as anybody. I mean, I got a box full of, a closet full of shoes right there. And it's good to, try to tell people about, performance shoes and stuff. And just different exercises. And I'm saying right now, for young people, pickleball is such a great way to stay in shape that it's just unbelievable. It's so simple. And it's not hard on your body. And it's so good for the mind. Again, I play with both hands and making quick decisions with my left hand, my right hand, making quick decisions as I'm holding a paddle. I mean, that's just great acuity. I mean, people don't understand how much it helps your acuity, because you're making all these decisions. And it's got to be quick because the ball travels so fast. But I hit a shot so sweet today, I must brag about it. So I served and the dude hit it back to me, and it's like all forehand. And I hit it so sweet where it stayed close to the net, but when it got near dude, it just, because it's got the wiffle ball on it, and my paddle will put a little English on it, but that shot went right to him, and it was like game point. It went right to him and just shot down at his legs, and he was standing in the no volley zone, but it like came straight at him and it just dropped. And he didn't even have a chance. So that was one of my best shots of the summer. That ball did exactly what it was supposed to do. Stayed low and dive. And so didn't make a lot of mistakes where, you think you got a clean shot and you hit it into the net. That's such a waste of shot. Didn't get any of that today. So missed a couple corners, but overall my game was pretty tight. I think I only missed maybe 3 dudes served it. Maybe one time I hit it long. One time I just didn't hit it enough. But overall, returned every serve, was engaged in almost all the points, quick hands. That's why I used the ropes. I mean, my soggy arms have got tight. And so, whatever your thing is find something to stay in shape, I guess. Find something that works your heart. Eat plenty of fruits. Plenty of vegetables. And I think that helps, like,
Lorenzo says I have positive energy. Well, that helps with my positive energy. All these kind of things. Like I've said before, I got my meditation out the way before I came on here. I got a good 40, 45 minutes to just, and like I could tell, like the She Legit I got is not that it's great though. It really is really great. It seems like there's a shortage of She Legit. The prices have really tripled, almost. The 2 bottles that I tried to get 100 grams for 25 bucks, they ain't selling them like that. The place from India and the place from Texas, I couldn't get it. So I had to find Amazon to get it. But what it does is it really helps clearing the picture of when you meditate. It really gives you clarity. Now, another way you can get clarity is third eye clarifiers, which, you can put, sometimes I put a crystal, when I put this on, I'll put a crystal right here. And that can kind of do it as well. But She Legit really does, make the signals a lot clearer. And so whatever level you're on, She Legit, meditating, it's worth it. It's worth it. For people that it's not opened up enough for you, it can open up for you. It's the best way I could say it. Because a lot of times, people try to find clarity, try to close their minds, and it's hard for them to stop the roles or the roles of life, the reels of life. It's hard not to replay the moments. It's hard for people just to have an original mind and shut all that away. I'm not trying to predict the future, and I'm not, dwelling on the past. You don't want to be anywhere near that. You want it to be totally clear. And so once things are clear, whatever you practice, that's what, you can attract. And it's like you can attract the positive, no doubt. And like I don't look at like this energy here, the thunder energy is not negative. And I can also attract the thunder energy. But it's not necessarily a negative type of energy, but it can be used. Well, it can be used for my protection, no doubt. So, it can be used as a way to protect me because I practice this type of thunder energy as well. So it's not it's not a natural weapon. I don't need it as a weapon, but it's like, hey, too much come here, I start talking to them. And yes, that would be outside myself. But the nature seems to react. That's having the relationship with nature. Because nature does seem to react to the positive deeds of loving the planet that we're on and the thing that we're on, taking care of things other than ourselves, which is service to others. Because it takes a little extra to even feed animals. For people that have dogs, to walk them, train them, cat lovers, to clean up after them, feed them, plants, feed them, take care of them. Loving something outside of yourself enough to hopefully that your input or your interaction with it, it bears more fruit, bears more flowers. And that little bit is all it takes to be part of something outside of yourself that's positive with nature and this planet. Because there's a consciousness that we can connect to that is not necessarily, it's the nature consciousness. And I only hesitate to say, I don't know if that's the same as the God consciousness. Because nature can give you some of the sweetest kind of feelings in the world. Natural. What did Prince say? A robin sings a masterpiece that lives and dies unheard. But yet it was a masterpiece. And if only one other thing heard that, and that robin got with another robin, then that's who it was meant for. This meaning, it's a rhythm in nature that we all can
give it out, and it comes back. And it's not karma. I'm not a believer in karma. You know, I live above that stuff, you know. Because if you think it's going to happen, it'll come back and happen to you. And that's the fool of that. And again, it's whatever you're into. So I think I'm going to cut it short. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it today. This lady died at 100, and for her best thing was drinking water. Wow. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I saw on TV was pickleball. That's cool. This is one of the face things to do when we wake up, release liquids. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'll say this, you know, I said I don't eat a lot of pork. We went to Famous Dave's. Famous Dave's is a Midwest thing that makes ribs and stuff. And it's just the rib dinner just made more sense. So I ate a couple ribs, but I could feel it because, you know, when we burn food, we burn it off when we breathe. And I could literally feel myself breathing that pork out. I mean, I felt it come out when I could just feel it. I smelt it when it came out. I smelled it and I tasted a little bit when it came out. Again, I don't eat a whole lot of pork. June was probably the most pork I'd eat all year. I ate, I think, 4 ribs and maybe a hockey puck sausage. That's about it. But other than that, I don't eat very much. I guess you could call pepperonis, but not even. I don't eat a lot of pizza. Am I ready for some football? Definitely. It's another game coming on Thursday, I think. Yep, preseason games are starting to come on. So yes, definitely ready. I think our one friend playing up in North Dakota State, I think he already left. My nephew's leaving in a couple weeks to go to his college, and he hoops. So yeah, it's college football. All the Gophers is up there. We got what is his name? Big Devo, Devin Edmonds. He's for the Gophers. I think he's third year red shirt though, so technically a sophomore. Technically has 2 more years of eligibility. Might even have another because he was a freshman, I think, during COVID. Yeah, so he might even have. COVID people got 6 years. I don't know if y'all realize that. They needed 6 years. COVID people could get 6 years of college playing. So I think that's where Devin is. But he's a monster now. Well, I shouldn't call him a monster, but he's really, you know, you can see the difference in what college football is giving him. I mean, he's not taller than my son, but he's well, you know, he's got a football hard body. And so we wish him, you know, all the luck, no matter how far he can take it, no doubt. Thought to suggest to your page. Either way, I'm subscribed. Well, thank you, Mac. Thank you. I appreciate it. I've done my best to try to tell my view of things in an unbiased way. And just coming on here and being in the afternoons, you know, because you guys know I'm such a night person that I love staying up all night, but I'm trying to do something else right now. You know, I'm really trying to do something else, and it takes time to build this kind of thing up. So I thank you for engaging this time of day. You know, I appreciate all that you came. And so, yeah, I appreciate everybody. And I'm going to let Above the Law take it out. Till we meet again, say less. This is the Big Eagle Hour. I'm your host, Big Pontiac. Till we meet again, say less.
Baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I'm coming. I hit the loot juice, it pulls up in the deuce. I hit.
Till we meet again. Thank you. Let me see. Thoughts the even way I'm subscribed. I think you missed the prior question. Are you familiar with? Oh yeah, Jim Red Wolf. Yeah, Jim Red Wolf. Yeah, we've been Facebook friends. Woo. I'm friends with him and Sharon on Facebook. So yeah, and me and Jim Red Wolf. Wow, we've been Facebook friends. I couldn't tell you. We've been Facebook friends for a long time. He had came on my other show before they took my other show off. He had came on. So yeah, I know him. Yeah, him and Sharon. I'm friends with both of them. Yep. Yeah, so yeah, I know Jim Red Wolf. Yeah. So yeah, I know him. I'm Facebook friends with him. Yep. Play back the fuck up. All right, I gotta go. Ladies, about done. And I got a couple things to mess around with. I got the munchies and bring nothing up here about this water. So thank you for checking me out.
Yeah, nigga.
Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
Use a snort cocaine, now I beam for the check.
My word, can't be my equal, don't know what you heard. The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass.
That's the difference when you're my baby. That's how it is when you. That's the difference when you're my baby. That's the difference when you're my. That's the difference when you're my baby.